Hello, everyone, and welcome to round number 6 of HRL IndyHog. We're really rolling through the season. It kind of blows my mind that we're already in October. This is the first October round. I think we have 4 races in October, starting off with the Wisconsin Tour, doing Road America, and then Milwaukee Miles. So, classic track here that, this is, I don't know, maybe it was Armada said it last week, I don't remember, but this is almost like the Hog Mirabilis at this point because we've raced it so many times. Keeps coming back. Nicely fit into this series too. But as always, with some changes here, so we'll go through those quickly. Obviously, with IndyHog, not doing the jokers and doing the pits, as you can see over there, that's where the joker would normally be, like there, about somewhere over there. See those rocks there that weren't there before because the joker was there. So of course that's different now. The joker is no longer there, took it out, and we had to add a pit road. So you can see there's some inside walls here that's a little bit new. So you could really like dive the inside of this turn before. Now you can't really do that. But yeah, so go through this pit road, and Slaunch did all the updates for this week. So as you can see, pit road very similar to Watkins Glen, which we'll be racing in about a month. Actually, now that I think about it, very similar pit road here. The way that we made this track, it looks very similar. So there's the pit road. The only other changes, he added some of those outside berm cheesers that we had on Long Beach. So he experimented with those on Long Beach. There they are. There's a restart line. So the restart line's right there. That's where we're going to go green. So you see the drivers all lined up over there. They're going to pace a little bit early. We're going to go green there. I like that change because we're going to have like that full speed, pretty close to that full speed going into the first turn. So I think that's a pretty cool change that he threw in here. I'm sure that was the intention with that one. Try to get some more speed into turn 1. So pretty cool. And then the final one, there might be some other like slight ones maybe that I'm missing. I don't know. But the final like major one that I can think of, as you can see, this turn 5 has gotten a big update. It looks a lot different. It used to be a dive. And I think the purpose of this change was that this turn was like you could dive it pretty aggressively, but it was pretty risky. And it could be the cause, like the rumble with how high it was and dipping your tires. It could be the cause of a lot of flips and a lot of incidents. And also it was kind of like rough with the track cutting too. So I think this makes it a little bit more obvious and like prevents the track cutting a little bit more, and hopefully like cleans it up too. Like there shouldn't be as many like weird wrecks. Like we saw a lot of like wrecks happening here are fine, but we saw a lot of just ones that just did not look right. So I think that was probably part of it, but also improving the racing too. So there you go. There's your updates on the track. So let's get into the race. So going through the heat races, the winners of the heats, Slaunch got the win in heat 2. Okay, it was heat 2. I wasn't sure. Had to go back through it. So Detail got the win in heat number 1. Slaunch taking the win in heat number 2. Now I think heat number 1 was definitely the pole on this track. We'll see, but yeah, that outside into turn 1's pretty brutal, and it's pretty tough to do it clean. But that being said, if you can maintain it, it could pay off once you get to turn 5 eventually. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, those are your heat winners, and those are also going to be your starters on the front row. And we're going to be doing left to right on this one. So Detail on the left, Slaunch on the right, and then Roman on the left, Luke on the right. So 5th, 6th here can be Armada, then Coop, Hunter. Field a little bit separated at this point. Then we got Matt and Soul, and Real Deal waking up just in time, making his second start of the season, second full round start of the season. And there we go. Let's get into it. So we're going to be doing 12 laps. Going to be 25 checkpoints. Same pit rules that we implemented at St. Pete. Green flag. So I'll say it again quickly. Those rule changes that we did at St. Pete, they are back. Definitely keep that in mind throughout the race. Here we go into turn 1. It's going to be huge on this first lap. And look at the outside. It gets really tight. It gets really tight on the inside. And especially if you're trying to race clean, you can lose a lot of momentum. So you see the outside had some really nice runs right there. But overall, Detail will have the lead out of the first turn. I think Slaunch pretty safely in second. And then there's still some battles going on through the pack. Quite a few 2 wides. Like half the field single wide, half the field double wide. Still battling. Almost like a 3 wide there in turn 5 for a moment. 3 wide there for third for a moment. Oh! Wow. Already a big flip. We're early. If it conks me. Okay, yeah, it's not that bad. So already an early flip, and this is obviously going to play a big part in his race. Now, on the bright side for Hunter, that if you're going to flip, now would be the time to do it. But let's take a look at what happened here. Drifting, and just goes over. Just goes over, gets a little too much. That cylinder, if you're cutting it really hard, you can do it, but it's risky, and as you can see, he goes down full dismount. That's going to be brutal for Hunter, and it's going to be a tough regain for him after that. Going to the carousel. Slight battle, so still details launch. It's Roman and Luke for 3rd and 4th, and Camby 5th right now, and most of the drivers settling it out. A little bit of a battle there for 3rd. Luke got a run on the exit of the carousel, maybe going to try to go for it on Roman. And the battle behind them, too. Oh, they run really wide behind them. That's going to open that up to a 3 wide. This is going to get pretty weird. It's Camby, Armada, and Soul. They single out up front, but these guys... Oh, I'm so shocked that Soul did not get put into the inside wall right there. I'm so shocked. But that was huge. Oh, a little bit of lag. Was that Soul's lag? I mean, we were on his POV, but I know Armada was next to him too, and Armada was having some lag issues. Oh, big run behind. That slowed them up, and that got a big run behind. That was Coop right there, that huge run, and trying to take advantage of that. We have a battle for 2nd as well. It's Launch the inside, Luke on the outside. Roman trying to take advantage of that. 2 wides all throughout the field. And the battles are tricky on this track too, because it's very easy to keep a battle going, but when you battle super hard, it can also very easily cost you a lot of time, and it's a tricky balance on this track, because ideally I think you want to try to make passes in the pits. I mean, in general, right? In general, this applies to most tracks, but like especially on this one, it's really hard to make on-track passes. They are doable, but they often take multiple turns, so they can slow you down quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out in this race. I think people are going to be trying to go for like different pit strategies of people and trying to make moves happen that way. I think that's going to happen a lot. But Solange with a look to the inside, he had a really strong Canada corner back there. But on the inside, it can get tight sometimes in the last corner, and you can see he lost the run a little bit. Detail started to run away with it. That gives him a bit of an advantage into turn 1. Now Luke's going to have the run out of turn 1, but Solange might... Yeah, he's just going to be able to block it there. And Roman's still sticking with it too. So the top 4 is very, very tight at the moment, and we're seeing great battling out of them. And this is why this track keeps returning. This is what we see pretty much every time we race Road America, and still with some only slight changes and stuff like that. And we're still seeing really good on-track action here. And it's a... Oh, wow. Look at the backpack. We're digging it out. Matt's still holding onto it. And he's going to like... Well, he can't see it, but he's going to like that behind him. 3 wide. Oh, no! What was that? Was that another cylinder cheese? Well, we'll see, but I think the cylinder bites someone again. But yeah, you just gotta... I don't think he's letting off. Like, if you're speeding and you're going too wide, it's gonna... Your tires aren't gonna come down, and just catches it. He's gonna go over pretty brutally, so that's gonna be tough. Meanwhile, the 3 wide battle continues. And we have different packs already. Like, we have this front pack of 4. We have that mid pack of 3. We have that back pack of 3. It was 4. I'd have to try to regain on that one. So we're already working out to several different packs. Just nice to see. And I think that'll probably go on throughout the race. And again, with Moto 1, it's obviously going to be more separated too with the heat races and stuff. Oh, pits are open this lap. And we already have some moves. Who is that? I went through everybody. Okay, Slaunch going in. So Slaunch, interestingly, going with a very early pit strategy. Very quick pit, too. So Slaunch going to be the first one to bite on the pits. Coop will go in as well. It's just going to be Slaunch and Coop. I'm curious what Coop goes for here. Oh, just a quick one. He just did the mag, and he's going to reload it on the next one. So yeah, Slaunch going for a very early strategy. This will be interesting to see how this plays out. Let's take a look. Right now, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good because he's well ahead of those guys, and he's well behind that mid pack. It should still be the mid pack, right? Is it the front pack? It's the front pack? Wow. That was a fast pit. I mean, obviously it was a fast pit, but it's like I thought he'd lose more off of it. But yeah, it's just the front pack. So, I mean, the pit seems to work out pretty well for him. Point is, he's got clean air both ways, right? He's got clean air both ways, and that'll help him out here for sure. Those guys in the front are still really close. They're still going to have to worry about each other. Can't be holding off that push from Soul there. But yeah, they're gonna worry about each other. They're going to battle with each other potentially. Slaunch doesn't really have to worry about that with what he did there. So So far, looking like a pretty decent strategy, but we'll see. Does he go for a full early strategy, or does he like where he is? Front three, they elect to stay out. Okay, spicing it up. Slaunch goes in. I wonder... None of those guys go in. So this is going to be a long one, I think, out of Slaunch. We'll see. It might be pretty close with that pack that we were watching. Maybe not. I think he's going to be well behind them. Yes, he'll be well behind them. But he will come out in front of Hunter. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big. If Slaunch gets stuck behind Hunter right there, that's going to be brutal. You know, the whole objective of that is that clean air. So that worked out really well for him because he's well behind that 3 wide in front of him. And he's got a decent gap on Hunter. So far, looking pretty good from Slaunch with the early pitch strategy. And it's pretty rare that we get to see that, too. The early pitch strategy come out of, you know, the lead pack. So we'll see if we can make it work here. Because it's definitely... Oh, my God. Wow. Our Moto is really going for it. But it's pretty rare that we see that. And even more rare that it works out, generally. But it can work out. And sometimes, especially when you have a lead pack of a few people that are battling, sometimes that early pitch strategy that, you know, leaders tend to not go with can actually benefit you if they're battling pretty aggressively up there. And it looks like we could see some of that. We've seen a little bit of it so far. We'll have to wait and see if we get any more of it. Camby and Armada seem to be the ones duking it out right now. Still Detail leading them down. And we're going to be 5 laps in. And Roman going to go in. And the window is only so long. Like, we're only going to have like 5 more laps available of pitting here. So those first couple laps of availability, you know, we haven't seen the pits be too crowded, too busy. We're going to see more of that pretty soon. And there, yeah, Roman goes in. He does a very long pit. There he goes. Where does he come out? Behind Slaunch. Kind of what we expected, and not too far off, though. But again, Slaunch was done with both. Roman has another one. So that looks really good for Slaunch, now that I think about it. Looks really good for him. Armada comes out right behind Real Deal. That's pretty crazy how that works out. Coop goes in for his, I think, second. I believe he pitted early. So a few more pits coming in. Detail and Luke pretty close for the lead, and this is still the lead, but we'll have to see where Slaunch comes out, because again, Slaunch, pretty interesting that he came out so close in front of Roman, or in front of Roman at all, because again, he was already in front of Roman, but he took both pits. Roman's only done one, so if that's the case, Slaunch has definitely made some pretty big gains, even though he's already ahead of him. Like the fact that he's doing it on just 1 pit, or 2 pits, Roman's on 1, like, so he must have made some really nice gains in those laps. So we'll have to see how that works out for the lead pack, because he should have made up some time there too. So let's see if these guys go for any pit this lap, because that battle's starting to get pretty close, and Luke is going to go for it first. Try to do some undercut action, so he's going to go in for his first
lap complete.
Like a medium-ish pit there. And going to come out well in front of anyone else. It'll be Soul right now. Slaunch getting by Camby on track. Hunter going in, doing his first. Real Deal. 1 more drivers. So let's get an update on the field. I mean, obviously there's some pits coming in, but Detail's got a big gap now. So Luke's got a big gap for second, Soul's in third. I think Slaunch just made some on-track moves. Or just one on Camby, and it seemed pretty clean too. So that's another thing that I think bodes well for him, is that he made that pass on Camby, and it didn't look like it was too much effort put into it. So that's the risky thing, obviously, right? I think Detail and Luke with the later pits are trying to avoid any scenario like that. Slaunch always is going to run that risk with his early pitch strat of having to make those on-track moves against people that he's not really racing with. But it's going to help him out if he can make those moves really quickly, and it seems like he did there, so doesn't seem like too much of a hurt. And Roman is also dealing with the same thing, and again, it's interesting for how his strategy is working out, because now, I mean, he's not battling with Camby on track. Or he is battling with Camby on track, but like for the race, he's not. Race leader, Detail going in for his first pit, so we'll see how this works out. And if Luke doesn't pit this time, then this could get pretty interesting. Wasn't Hunter in there too? Okay, somebody was in the wrong stall. Maybe it was Hunter. So he's going to do that. I'm not sure. And he comes out right in front of Luke, and this is going to be a big moment there, because Luke's going to have to check up for that. And that's going to be interesting. So that, however many shots he did, it's going to be pretty clutch for him, because if Luke was able to get in front of there, that would have been really good for his strat. But the fact that he comes out right in front of him is going to play a big role for their battle, and will probably impact when Slaunch comes back into the picture too. Roman, meanwhile, it looks like he's going for it in turn 1. Can he finally complete the pass on Camby? Can he do it? Can he do it? Can be just trying to keep the nose in it. Can he do it? And this is exactly what I was talking about, right? Like, we're getting a perfect... These guys have been battling, like, this entire lap. Like, it's been an entire lap now of Roman trying to get by Camby. And you can make passes quickly, but it's difficult. Often, these battles can last very, very long. I think Roman here in the carousel is going to have it, though. Unless Camby can get in a crazy switchback, I don't think he's going to be able to. Oh, still quite a bit of time left, too. Still quite a bit of time left. Still a couple laps to go on those pits. So, yeah, see, that's them. That's Slaunch right there. That's Slaunch right there, and they still have to do another pit. So this is crazy. I think Slaunch has made some insane gains. That being said, Luke and Detail's pits, they both shot, I don't know, 16-ish bullets, something. So it's not like they were the, it's not like they were the longest pits. It's not like they were the quickest either. So they shouldn't, what I'm saying is when they go in for their last pit, they shouldn't be in too long. So it'll be interesting how this works out. Right now, I think it looks pretty good for Slaunch. It's all just going to come. He needs to come out in front of Detail when he does his last pit. Well, let's see if he can do it. Roman goes in, and Camby, they both go in on the same lap, and Roman's going to be well in front of him. You see Camby's got that momentum, but Roman's just going to get to the corner first. So they're good there. And we're going to see some, some late race pits here, seeing as we're getting really close to the end. As remember, we go to 25 on the checkpoint, and right now we're going to be going to 3 to go this time by. So there'll still be another lap besides this one. There'll still be another lap to go in for pits. But we're getting to that point where there's only a couple more opportunities. So if anybody's got any left to do, which I think a lot of people have done, quite a few pits. But we see, these two leaders definitely have another one to do. I think some other people throughout the pack do. So we're not done yet. Definitely not done yet. And still a lot of close, like, 2 wide, like, individual battles. There was a lot of, like, 3-ways earlier in the race. But now it's worked out to be a little bit different. See how it goes here. So let's see. Detail or Luke, do one of them go in? Oh, interesting. Spicy. They're both going to go in same lap. Let's see how this works out. Slaunch is going to be coming from behind. We're going to see him enter the frame in just a moment here. Luke just got his bullets done. Oh, Detail did not have a lot left to do. His first pit was very long. He comes out very quickly. Oh, and Slaunch has the run. Slaunch has the run. But is he going to be able to do enough with it? And they both clear Luke pretty substantially. So it might just be a Detail Slaunch battle for the win now as we're going with 3 laps to go. So potentially 3-lap shootout between the two. Here we go into turn 5. This could be very important. Detail's absolutely going to get the better run there, but can he complete the pass? Oh, I like it. Slaunch going for a bit of a crossover, see if he can work something, but not able to do so. And that's huge. Slaunch went for it, and the timing almost worked out perfectly to where that inside gap opened up for him and he could carry that momentum, but Detail got there just enough time to steal a little bit of that momentum and hold him off. That was very, very close. And now the interesting thing becomes, well, also Roman was in this battle. He's definitely lost some time. So I think Roman's just going to be in a clean 4th this race. He looks like he's in 4th and he's just locked. And maybe a couple battles throughout the pack, but the top 3 battle is still really going on. I mean, though there's like little gaps at this point, there's still a couple hog lengths between them, but this is certainly still a battle. I mean, this is not too much at this point, even though we're going into 2 to go. So 2-lap shootout, this time by Detail, Slaunch, and Luke. See who can take it this time at Road America. These guys have been battling it out for wins on this track a lot of the time that we've been racing it. They've all taken wins on this track since we've been racing it. As far as overalls go, I have no idea, but they've definitely all taken Moto wins. I'd have to do some HRL history dive. Maybe I can get that for you in Moto 2 for those stats. But yeah, they definitely all put in some good finishes on this track, and here they are battling it again. And interestingly enough, I think they just have enough of a gap. Like, I think Detail and Slaunch have enough of a gap where Luke can put in some really good laps here, but I don't know if he's going to have time. But if Detail and Slaunch start battling a little bit, it could become a 3-way battle, and that could make things very interesting. Like, if they start duking it out really hard, slow each other up, Luke could enter the picture. It could get kind of weird up front, so we'll see how this plays out. And that might happen because Slaunch is very close. Slaunch is very close. Let's go on board with him. And again, we're going to be coming to the white flag this time by. So I think the important corner here is probably going to be the last corner. I think having a really nice run there into the last lap is going to be super important. You see he's just keeping that gap with Detail very close, about a hog length between them, and that's definitely a workable gap. It's not over yet. Here we go. White flag. I think this turn is going to be the important one, and I think Slaunch has got it. I think he's got a really good run. He's carrying it the whole way. White flag. Oh, makes it to the inside. Oh, Detail protects. It was very close. And here it comes. Luke to the inside of Slaunch. Tried to get the nose in right at the end there, but Slaunch is able to defend that. And that was a big move. Slaunch had the momentum. He went for it. It was going to be a really difficult move to make. Wasn't able to make it. Cost his momentum a little bit. So now Luke might be in the frame for second. And he's making dives trying to make it happen. Can they still battle for the win? Or is it just a battle for second at this point? Slaunch really hooking it up right there at turn 6. And he gets away from Luke a bit there, but can he make the move on Detail? He's running out of time. It's going to be very difficult. Like I said, I think that first section was going to be, I think it needed to start there. It's going to be very hard for it to happen on the final lap. You could do it on the last turn potentially, but you're going to have an insane run. Person in front of you is going to have a horrible one. But here we go. Going into the Canada corner, so much speed. The last time around it, Slaunch with a good run. I think Luke with a really good run behind. Maybe the best run of all of them. So could it be the run for second? I think Detail's probably got it locked up. We'll see. Here we go into the last corner. See who gets the run. Slaunch drifting out a little bit. Here comes the run. Oh, the fake out. It's close. Photo at the line, but Slaunch is going to hold off. Detail takes the win. Slaunch second, Luke third. Needed more laps on that race. Man, imagine if that was a 5-lap extra race. I feel like they would have kept going at it the rest of the 5 laps. Roman does 4th place. Soul 5th. So they had some decent gaps there. Very close to the top 3, though. They were on it to the end. 6th place going to be Camby. This one, Hunter 7th. And then Armada 8th. Looks like Coop bringing up 9th place. Real Dill taking home 10th for this one. The gaps, it's interesting. The gaps, like there was a lot of battles. There was a lot of battles throughout the field in that race, but a lot of them settled out. A lot of them settled out at the end. But the top 3 one persisted, which is interesting. Not gonna take home 11th here. Got our full order for Moto 1. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, it was very, very close. Very close between the top 3. And we've seen pretty good battles throughout the field on a lot of the Road America races. But yeah, the rest of the field separated and got well away from each other in this one. But Moto 2 is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Invert and bunching them all up could certainly mix things up, or will certainly mix things up. There you go. Congrats to Detail taking his 3rd Moto win on the season. Going to be going for a 2nd overall now in Moto 2. We'll see if he can do it. The top contenders are going to be Slaunch and Luke behind him in 2nd and 3rd. See if they can take theirs there. Slaunch going for his 1st overall. Luke could be going for a 4th. So see how they can contend with it, if they can take it away from him, or if Detail can hold it off. See how it plays out. Don't miss it in Moto 2.